about Kwanzaa and today's principle, which is Ujima, and then I'm gonna get off this stage. So Kwanzaa, as you should know, is a celebration that is entering, or is about to be entering, its 50th year of celebration. Earlier, Mama Yo was down here talking about the 50th anniversary of the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. Well, its history kind of goes hand in hand with the history of Kwanzaa. And so Kwanzaa, we're entering that 50th year anniversary of the celebration of Kwanzaa. So this celebration has grown, its roots and branches take us from the African continent to our situation in our present day reality here in the United States of America. So, and other places throughout the diaspora. So I'm gonna talk quickly about Kwanzaa. It is based, its basis is on celebrations of African community that come from many different African cultures and nations and ethnic groups. And since it grows out of this Pan-African experience, it's not just tied to just one African group like the Dogon or the Yoruba or the Akan or the Fawn. It's an amalgamation of those core principles that all African people share, including us here in America. So today you got the right to be African. You know, so I know when y'all leave here, y'all back to Mr. and Mrs. Jones. But here you Kwame and Malik, I understand, I know how it goes. It's all good, you can do that today. But this holiday grows out of this black nationalist experience. So I'm gonna be clear on this, that everybody who practices and celebrates Kwanzaa may not be a black nationalist, but black nationalism touches you because this celebration comes from this black nationalism, this idea that black people form a nation within a nation. All right, so now that I've said all of that, we know, a lot of people may know that Maulana Karenga is, or you may have heard that he's the founder of Kwanzaa. I want you to understand that Kwanzaa grows out of a community experience. So even though Maulana Karenga is generally given the credit, it's an organization, the organization called US. That organization founded Kwanzaa, and Maulana Karenga is one of the founders of that organization, but it is an organization. And I really want to talk about that as I'm talking about what we're talking about up here, because Ujima, which is the principle for today, grows out of this idea of organization. We're not all here just all by ourselves doing stuff. If you've done anything that is great for your people, you did it as part of a group. The group might have had a name, or it might not have a name. But if it had a name and you called yourself an organization, then it grew out of that. If you didn't have a name, it was an ad hoc group of people who did something, put themselves together, put their nickels, put their dimes, put their thoughts, put their heads together, and created something great for all of our people. And that's what Kwanzaa is about, and that's what we ought to be celebrating, instead of always trying to look for a person here and there to celebrate, but celebrating our coming together as a community. So I'm not going to be lighting the candles, but I want to talk about what we've got up here. So over here you see these corn, this corn right here, this is called the Muhindi. The language of Kwanzaa is Kiswahili. And so you see Habaragani, which is a Kiswahili term. The actual word Kwanzaa comes from a phrase, Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits. And so it is the idea of harvest festivals that is the foundation of Kwanzaa. And so the Muhindi is the corn, and it symbolizes the children. It symbolizes all of our children, which continues our community. We can't have a community without children. And if it ain't about the children, what is it really all about? Over here, we have the crops, which are known as the mazao. The mazao are the crops. And again, the foundation of Kwanzaa is harvest celebration. So you don't have a harvest if you don't have fruit and that agriculture. And BaBa Malik will tell you that if there is no agriculture, there is no culture. You can't have culture without agriculture. He'll tell you that, but he also tell you another idea. And a lot of us, are some radical, serious African people I see up in this crowd. I ain't gonna call y'all out, but y'all know who y'all are, Elder, Michael, Balagoon. Let's not gonna call y'all out. We got some serious Africans up in here. And I see Queen Mother Nefertiti. I see Queen Mother Oshindar Nefertiti El over there. So we got some serious Africans here. But what you will also learn is that we have to provide our own food. So symbolically, this is about a harvest celebration, but I'm going to be bringing to the reality. We need to be feeding ourselves. And there's some people in this crowd who will let you know how we need to be going about doing that. Because, I mean, I know, it might sound uncomfortable, but if your enemy is feeding you, you're not really free. Okay, so this mat that everything sits on is the mkeka. Say mkeka. All right, so the mkeka, this mat symbolizes our history and our traditions. And of course, that's what I'm all about. If you don't know who I am, that history is what I do. So please talk to me about history, and I'll talk to you about something too. So mkeka is our history. It's on everything that we do is built on this history. And everything that we're going to do this way going forward is built on this history. Any thought you have is based on somebody else thinking something before you thought it. So we are connected to our history in everything we do. When you walk up into the doctor's office, the first thing they want you to do is fill out your medical history. They don't want to do nothing to you till they know something about you already. And you can't do nothing for yourself until you know something about your history. That's the mkeka. The mkeka is our history. Right here, this fancy work of woodwork that somebody did, which is awesome, is this part down here, and it actually this is they're connected. So this is all one kanara. This kanara is the candle holder. The candle holder, where all these candles are inside of, is inside of this wooden work of art, this candle holder. And this kanara it symbolizes our African ancestors. Because see, we ain't get here on our own. Baba Mudo already did our libations to honor our ancestors, but anything we're doing, we're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. We're only great because they did stuff to make us great. And so we have to honor our ancestors. And so this represents our ancestors. And of course, at the top, you see the 7 candles. And the 7 candles are the Mashuma Saba. Say Mashuma Saba. The Mashuma Saba are the candles that represent each of the days of Kwanzaa. And all the 7 principles, and we call those 7 principles the Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles. And you heard you heard us doing or talking about the Nguzo Saba earlier. And each day for Kwanzaa, Mama Yo was talking about all the different days of Kwanzaa, and this is being the 3rd day. Each day of Kwanzaa has a specific principle that is supposed to be highlighted in that day. So if you're celebrating Kwanzaa at home, you celebrate each day, starting with the first one, which is Umoja, the one in the middle. And you alternate the candles each day from starting on the right to the left, and then you end on the 2 at the end. And then last, I think I got everything except this. And this one is the Kukombi Cha Umoja. Say Kukombi Cha Umoja. That didn't sound right. Let's do it one more time. Kikombi Cha Umoja. Okay, so the Kikombi Cha Umoja is the unity cup. And in this unity cup, it represents the principal idea upon which all of the other principles of Kwanzaa are based on, which is Umoja. They're based on the unity. None of this other stuff can happen if we ain't talking about unity. And there's so many issues that our community has that it should be so easy for us to unify. It should be so easy for us to have this unity. And I'm going to end off talking about that, but I forgot this one, the Zawadi. The Zawadi are the gifts, and they are giving particularly to children, to honor them for some goal that they set, some positive goal they set for themselves, and that they complete. And we try to make this something that people make, people create. Not you went to the store and bought it. We don't want the Walmart Kwanzaa. We're trying to do a Kwanzaa that's created by our community. Because you can go to Walmart now and celebrate Kwanzaa. They got Kanaras at the party store. So you can capitalize, you can practice the capitalist version of Kwanzaa today. But we try to move our people to creating these things for themselves, which is how it once was done. And if you can't do that, at least buy whatever you're going to buy for someone from a black business. A black-owned business. So now we have Ujima, which is our principle for today. And now I'm going to end it with that. So Ujima, of course, means collective work and responsibility, which is acting on that unity that we have, acting on that umoja. And everything that we do is built on this collective work and responsibility, making our brothers and sisters' problems our own and solving them together. That's everything we've done is based on that. When our people were enslaved, us getting out was collective work and responsibility. And then no one person helped our ancestors get out of enslavement. When we created a black vibrant community in Detroit, yes, in Detroit, when we created a black vibrant community in Detroit, it was done by collective work and responsibility. We've created all kinds of things in this Detroit that we're living in. A mile away from here, at the 20 Grand Motel, in 1968, the Provisional Government of the Republic of Africa was formed. Here in Detroit. In 1930, the Nation of Islam was formed. Here in Detroit. Right now, we will be celebrating, or we're in the middle of the 50th anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama. The #1 institution that helped to fund the Montgomery bus boycott was Second Baptist Church, which is about 2 miles away from here in downtown Detroit. So, collective work and responsibility does all kinds of things for our people, and it has created the black community in Detroit. Peace.
BaBa Jamon, thank you. And before you leave, BaBa, because one of the things that we try to do here is to teach our community Kwanzaa so that you can go home and you can celebrate it throughout the year. And I know you talked about the 7 principles and the 7 symbols, but would you honor us by lighting the candle so we can see how it's done?
Okay. Thank you. I thought we had children. Are we going to do okay? All right, well, hey. I don't want to shout the children, but I'm going to start us off. Okay, so when you're celebrating Kwanzaa, of course, the first day is Umoja. So everybody say Umoja. Umoja. So you light the Umoja candle. And Umoja means unity. And of course, the next day is Kujichagulia. Say Kujichagulia. Which means self-determination. That means we name ourselves, we think for ourselves, we do for ourselves. We don't have things done and said and taught to us. We can do those things for ourselves. It's Kujichagulia. And of course, the day we're in right now is Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility, making the issues and the problems and the things that are going on in our community, making them our own issues, our own problems, and we're going to solve those things together, because you can't solve them by yourself. So, Ujima. Thank y'all. That's what's up. Peace.